Last week in the Herr Sprint Series, there was another dominant win from Alexander Rowe with 42 out of 50 laps at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and now he has a 42-point lead over second place Enable. He's won 5 out of the 18, but really win here today. This is quite possibly one of the best racetracks on the schedule all year long for the Herr Sprint Series, and it's only 20 laps. It is race 19 on the season, and it is the Michigan 150 at the Michigan International Speedway. Hello everyone, it is Nathan Satan here, finally back here for race 19 of the season 4 the Sprint Series here tonight. It is Sprint Series 9 in America at Michigan, and of course, gotta thank Carables for doing Nashville last week, as it was very tight on me if I was going to get that race up in time because of Indy's. So huge thanks to him, but we are back. Should be able to do the rest of the season without any hiccups in the way season it has been so far. Alexander Rowe 5 wins now, but still only has a 42-point lead, and that can all go away very quickly, especially at some of these next races that we have: Michigan, Montreal, and Pocono, the next 3. And we'll see what ends up happening. Tonight, 20 laps on tap, and we got Matthew Hooper up here in the booth here. And welcome to Michigan.
Yep, welcome back here in the Herr Sprint Series. Michigan Raceway, it has a unique feel. It's almost like All Club in a way. The racing's going to be really tight here considering 24 cars on the track. And I hope it racing similar to what we saw at the tail end of the Wawa Cup Series races last season. But to your point, Alexander Rowe, he has been something else this season, to say the least. If he keeps up this form, he might as well break the record for all-time wins in a single season, which is currently at 12. By the way he's doing, and we're not even at June, he already has 8 wins between the Herr Sprint Series and the Bayern East Series.
It's definitely been a Alexander Rowe type of a year here on HG the channel, and we'll see what ends up happening. And I think the big case on why he keeps on winning is that in a lot of these races he ends up setting down a fast lap time, and that's what happened at Nashville Fairgrounds last week, as ironically, he won the race and set the second fastest lap time. Meanwhile, Matt Black, who starts on the pole here today, got second, and he set the fastest lap time. So that is a big reason why Alexander Rowe is winning a lot, is he is fast throughout the races as well and sets himself up well for the next week. And we'll see what ends up happening, but as we touched on it already, Alexander Rowe has a 42-point lead over Enable in second, 308 to 266, and then it is very tight. BP Ruiz in third, 42 points behind. Hallie Anderson Jr. in fourth, 46 behind. Matt Black in fifth, 51 points behind. J.R. Wilberton in sixth, minus 57. Chase McClure in seventh, minus 71. Ian Williams in eighth, minus 83. Sam Kamara in 9th, minus 88, and then Campbell Mullish rounds out the top 10, minus 89, and then a quick shout out to Carson Miller, he is in 11th, minus 90. So we got a tight battle from 2nd through 5th, and then we got a tight battle through 8th through 11th, but it's been all Alexander Rowe here this season, and we'll see if he can keep that up here today at a very wild Michigan International Speedway. These guys are going to be slipping and sliding, going all over the place, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, as it always is. And on the pole in number 69 is Matt Black, and alongside him is Alexander Rowe in the 88. Starting third is Enable in the 37, and then fourth is Hallie Anderson Jr. in the 98. Carson Miller is in fifth in the 82, and BP Ruiz in the 57. Matthew Hall in seventh, and then alongside him is the 05 with J.R. Wilberton. The number 9, starting 9th is the 39 of Campbell Mullish, and then starting 10th is the 64 of Sam McMahon. Trey Smith is in the 11th in the 93. Joshua Neely in the number 3 is in 12th. 13th is Nathan Aljaboy in the 02. Zane Davidson in the 96 is 14th. Ian Williamson 15th in the 56. Corey Case is 16th in the number 99. Dylan Stanley even still 17th in the number 1. Lester Salzman still 18th in the 52. And then Chase McClure still 19th in the number 50. Ollie Hitson still 20th. Has made a few starts this season. And then 21st is Charles Bowen, making his second start on the season. And then the last three drivers as well as made the first start all season of Jacob Rufus in the 97, David Dixon in the number 81, and then Stella Arcadia in the number 87. So, excited to see what these drivers can do. 20 laps on tap here, and we'll see on who ends up winning here at Michigan International Speedway. And I'm going to leave it up to you, Matthew. This is a short race and probably going to be a wild one. Who do you think will win the Michigan 150?
Of the drivers that have raced in the majority of the races this season, only two drivers have won multiple races. That being Alexander Rowe, who's a points leader, and my pick to win, starting 7th in the number 90, that is Matthew Hall. He has 3 wins all season, but although he only missed 3 races, which is why he's 12th in, he should be higher than 12th in points had he made all 18 starts so far.
Absolutely. Matthew Hall has had speed almost every time, but it's been feast or famine for him. Sometimes he's gone the win, and sometimes he's gone a bad result or gone involved in a crash. So I think they're on point on the statement of Matthew Hall saying that if he made every start, maybe he would be inside the top 10 in the points standings. And he still start on the inside lane in 7th, and we'll see what ends up happening if he can get the number 4. Or if Alexander Rowe can continue his dominance to get with number 6 on the season. Or if Matt Black can do one spot better than last week and win over Alexander Rowe. 20 laps on tap here tonight for race number 19 of the season in the Herr Sprint Series. And this is going to be a fun one. Pace car dives down to pit road. And it will be the 1-2 from last week but flip-flopped. Matt Black and Alexander Rowe. We are green flag racing for the Michigan 150 here in Brooklyn, Michigan. And Matt Black and the number 69 will lead lap number 1 as they are shuffling all over the place down the front stretch. And we are going to see that all day long here today. And we're going to see, like I said at the top of the show, possibly some of the best racing all season long. 3 and 4 grooves, maybe even 5, and Enable is going to get to the inside Matt Black for the race lead on that number 2.
This is surprisingly enough, Aaron Abel has not won a race yet this season, and he's only 42 points behind Alexander Rowe. Currently ahead of Rowe only by 5 positions or so. But considering the point there, we are all racing 3 wide, not quite 4 wide yet, but there was looks of it. Matt Black is trying to get the outside lane to work to try and get an advantage going down the back straightaway. But it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to play out. You'll never know what will happen here.
We've seen some crazy stuff here at Michigan, and we've seen some fantastic racing in the past. We'll look at last year in the World Cup Series, possibly one of the best races I've ever joined Alex in the booth for, and that's not just because my driver won. That race was an instant classic all day long, and we are seeing that here today so far. Multi-groove galore, and even in some places where you won't expect it outside of the groove has grip here. Matt Black trying to get to the middle, but he's going to get chopped off by Carson Miller, and Matt Black's going to go back to the inside. Carson Miller, he's made every start, and most of them have been his A2, but he's not had a good season. But Someone that's trying to get back on the right side of things here is that number 39. How about Campbell Mosh has had a struggling fall off in the spring and the early summer, but trying to get back on the swing of things. And we got drivers going all over the place. Here comes the 64. Sammy Command making it 4 wide into turns 1 and 2.
Oh boy, this is gonna be
Oh
tight
no!
here.
Oh!
And oh no, hard hit for a 98.
That was a huge
That's gonna
hit.
be a caution.
That indeed will
Oh.
be. And the 98 who won here last year with Travis Crampton in the Wawa Cup Series is not going to win here today in the Sprint Series. And how about this side by side racing back to the line for Herr Motorsports. And it's going to be the 37 barely winning the race back to the line. And we both said 4 wide, that was going to be scary. And it almost worked out, but it didn't. And that's going to... Hold up. Is that not a caution? That's not a caution somehow. What? Okay.
Oh.
Um.
Okay. Tough break for Haley Anderson Jr. in the 98.
Wow.
He was one of the drivers up there in the points who could have an opportunity to challenge for the championship if Alexander Rowe slipped back far enough. But, man, that tough break for... And that's for your team as well.
Mm-hmm. That sums up NS Racing here in the Sprint Series, and that's how you know this is equal reigns. And the 37 just missed 1 and 2, and that's the thing about Michigan. This is a multi-groove, but if you want too low, we'll drop him back, and you want too high, we'll drop him back. So, tough play for Ali Anson Jr. Because of that, it was not a caution somehow. That was a massive hit into the wall. That would be in the corner of the screen, probably is already. Tough break, but a recap here. Coast Miller 20 gets first win on the season here today. Is in the lead. Matt Black in second, and BP Ruiz in third almost, side by side with Aaron Naples, Sammy Camara, Alexander Rowe running way high in that 88 machine. And how about that 37 and 57 making it 3 wide on Matt Black for the second place spot. And then we got the number 39 of Campbell Mush, the number 3 of Joshua Neely, the 93 of Trey Smith. And then rounding out the top 10 is the 56 of Andrew Williams. And that will really split out the field as we're almost halfway through the Michigan 150. And Carson Miller might be able to finally get his first win here today in the Sprint Series in 2025.
We'll have to see about that. We're almost halfway through. Anything could happen. They're going 4 wide again, which isn't the best thing to do here, as we see right there. Abel saves it somehow. That's going to hold up Alexander Rowe and others there.
What is going on?
I don't know.
That's jacked up
man.
everybody, and I believe the caution is still not out. And yeah, still going here at Michigan. What is happening? That held up everybody. Carson Miller's in the lead still. Matt Black has a hood buckle, and that's going to hurt him massively. And now Trey Smith, who almost won at Hillside, I believe, during the Dash for Cash stretch. She's now inside the top 5. And look at some of these names that have caught up to the top 5, top 7. The 96 is in the midst. And today that is Zane Davison, Andrew Williams, the number 1 of Dylan Stanley. Even then, these guys are just flying all over the place. And would you believe me that we are only 10 laps in? Well, we are 10 laps in, 10 laps to go. In a wild Michigan 150. Welcome back for me for the Sprint Series after a week off. And what a race this has been.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And that's only halfway. If they keep going 3 wide back there, we might eventually get a caution that could maybe shake up the race. Hopefully I don't jinx it there. But with how they're racing so far, I wouldn't be surprised.
Ooh.
And that pretty much... My god. Aaron Naples in the middle of it once again. I need to stop speaking for a second and need to comprehend on what was going on the first half of the race.
Yeah, this is absolutely chaotic. These guys are sliding. Oh my goodness, and now that's going to be a
Oh
caution. Matthew Hall
no! Yeah,
in both of
that's
the
a big
Appalachia
one.
colors, and Alexander Rowe's
Oh
involved.
man. Alexander Rowe involved. My pick to win, Matthew Hall. And yeah, and finally got a caution out.
Oh
Hmm.
my
My
goodness.
goodness.
Third time was the charm, and we finally get our first yellow of the day. And that might be good for us, that might be good for the drivers, because they can finally take a breather and they can relax. But that's not what Carson Miller wanted. He was dominating this one here. And now he's going to have a very late race restart here in the Michigan 150. What a race this has been. And a tough boy for everyone involved. Chase McClure in the 50. The 13, I think, is fine, but Matt Blatt, he's now going to have a lot of fronting damage. The 90 of Matthew Hall, little pit Alexander Rowe got a piece of it, the point leader. Oh my goodness.
Had to happen eventually.
It
With how
definitely,
they've been racing, it had to happen. Uh,
it was
hmm.
going to happen at some point. Third time was the charm, and a couple of drivers going to be suffering after that one with a lot of front-end damage, and we'll see what ends up happening to bring out finally the first caution of the day. The first two incidents that didn't bring out a caution all happened in the corner of the screen, so let's go ahead and see what about the first and hopefully only caution of the day, and then get back to the very late race restart here at Michigan International Speedway. Well, here we go. This is what happened about the first caution of the day for the third incident, but finally the first caution, and we've seen it all day long. 4 wide has not been a good thing to be in the middle of, and once again it strikes with Corey Case sliding up the racetrack as everyone else did in 1 and 2 on that number 15. And Corey Case turned Matt Blatt, who already had damage, into Matthew Hall. And in Corey Case hard into the outside wall. Matthew Hall nowhere to go but up the racetrack into his teammate in the 50. And then the 88 is going to get involved, and so does the 13 as well of uh, Ollie Hitson, I should say. And that's basically it. A multi-constant. It might not look like a lot of damage for Alexander, but that's going to make him disappear here today. He's going to be running in the back part of the field, and we won't see him again. So, going to be a big points deficit for Alexander here today. But a wild crash here for a wild race here at Michigan for the Herr Sprint Series.
You can only go 4 wide and get away with it so many times. And as we see right here, Corey Case getting into Matt Black and just clogs the field up for most of the guys behind him. Most notably Alexander Rowe, and that's going to be a big hit for him in the championship standings. Although he has all those wins to fall back on, he doesn't have as many top 10s as the rest of his competitors do. So that's going to be a big blow if he doesn't win the championship this season.
Absolutely. If he doesn't win the championship, this could be where we circle and say, hey, he got involved in a crash at Michigan, but still got plenty of time, and he still got a restart to get here at Michigan, and we gotta see if who wins this one. Carson Miller's been dominant, but we'll see what happens on the restart with 5 laps to go in a chaotic Michigan 150 for the Herr Sprint Series. Welcome back to a chaotic Michigan International Speedway here today. And on top of all the chaos we've seen, we are going to have a 5-lap sprint to the finish. And welcome to the Sprint Series, as it's going to be 5 laps to go. Carson Miller, he's dominated this race since basically the midway point, around lap 5 to lap 15 at this point. But can he hang on and get his first win on the season here today? We just have to wait and see. BB Ruiz in second. Joshua Neely is in third. Trey Smith is in fourth. Sammy Camara is in fifth. Andrew Williams is in 6th. Dylan Sandeven is in 7th. And how about this? So 22nd, Jacob Rufus is in 8th. Nice 6th of St. Davison. And then running out of the top 10 is Campbell Mosh and Abel just outside the top 10 in 11th. And then our point leader, who caught a piece of that wreck, will restart in the 18th position. Obviously, we saw the 98 was out from the first incident. That did not bring out caution, and then the 50 and the 69 are both out from that third incident. And we're back going with 5 laps to go here at Michigan for the Michigan 150. Good restart for the top 4. And a really good restart for BP Ruiz in the 57.
Only gonna have a matter of time before he can pull off a move. As I briefly saw before the caution came out, he was looking to try and gain time on Carson Miller. It's only a matter of time. Oh, and that's all you have to do to get by to race lead. With Joshua Neely pushing him, as well as Trey Smith, Sammy Camara up to P5. It's going to be an interesting 4-lap dash to the finish.
Got so many drivers up front that have not won yet this season, trying to get the name on the record books here in 2025 for the Sprint Series. Ruiz is one of them. Carson Miller, same with Joshua Neely, and the number 3 actually has won once. So, same.
Hillside, actually.
Yeah, Hillside. That's yep. And still, my point stands. There's a lot of people that don't have a win yet this season, and 2 of them are these 2. BP Ruiz is trying to have a maximum point stay, and Carson Miller in the number 82. 3 laps to go. And how about Trey Smith? He almost won at Hillside, I believe, and he might have another shot at the win. And how about Jacob Rufus? First star on the season, and maybe even on the trail for 22nd to top 5.
Man, considering how chaotic the first race, it's really shuffling out drivers that we don't usually see up front there. Trey Smith is one of the lower drivers who have made the majority of the starts, and he's going to get one of his few top 5s, and one of the debuting drivers, Jacob Rufus, up there into 3rd. And this is going to be big for Carson Miller. Dominated the New Smyrna season opener, and is finally going to get his first win in the Herr Sprint Series this season. Although he has won in the Bayern Pro Series at Harmony Digital, not a good season all around.
This might come down to a rookie driver in its first start on the season versus Carson Miller, but even though it's been a chaotic race, Carson Miller has dominated this one. Final lap here in the Michigan 150, a chaotic race, but the 82 color for Herr Motorsports has been lights out here today at Michigan. The 97 is going to get into 2nd. Ruiz in 3rd, that's a 5 right behind him.
Oh my God.
Goodness, I was not expecting to see that here today. We're still watching these guys here inside the top 5, making some moves, and this is a preview of what we could see here this weekend for the World Cup Series. I think it could be one of the best races of the season in the World Cup Series. It was last year, but how about this dominating performance? Carson Miller finally wins this season in the Sprint Series, and he will win a chaotic Michigan 150.
Wow, what a performance there for Carson Miller. All down to 11th in the standings at this point. Needed a good run, and he got it at the right time, winning at Michigan. This is going to be some good momentum, I feel, if he can keep this up for the rest of the season.
Absolutely came in here 11th in the point standings, and if he keeps this up, maybe he can get a top 10 result at the end of the season. But what a race for me to come back to. Nashville Fairgrounds was a fairly calm race from the looks of it, from what I saw for Caleb last week, but this was not. This was absolutely chaos, and it even saw 4, maybe even 5 right on the final lap. So what a race. It was chaotic, but Carson Miller led easily half of this one, if not more, here today, and he gets his first win on the season. BB Ruiz gets 3rd. great one for the driver third in points. Enable still couldn't get 13th, and then not a good day for Alexander Rowe. He also was involved in the wet. He's going to finish in 21st. So for guys like Enable and BB Ruiz, definitely going to be big point days for them in the championship before we go to Montreal next week. But what a job well done from Carson Miller. Wins here today at the Michigan International Speedway. What a race that was. Miller in victory lane here. Jacob Rufus though second place after starting 22nd in his first start on the season. BP Ruiz in third, Trey Smith in fourth, another good one. Finally starting to get some good momentum. He had a good one at Hillside and now another good one here today. Dylan Steele even in fifth, I don't know where. Josh Manili in sixth, Zane Davidson in seventh, Nathan Archibald in eighth, Sam McMahon in ninth, and then Cameron Marsh. Finally something goes his way and hang on to get a top 10. Charles Bowen in 11th, Andrew Williams in 12th, Enable in 13th, Alexa Salzman in 14th, Stella Arcadia for the start 24th to 15th, not bad. And then David Ditson 23rd to 16th for the start as well this season. And then Jerry Robertson in 17th, Ollie Hitson in 18th, Matthew Hall in 19th, Corey Case in 20th, and Alexander Rowe in 21st. And then Matt Blatt, Chase McClure, and Hallie Anderson Jr. rounded out the field here today. And what's the final thoughts after a chaotic Michigan 150? And how do you think the Wawa Cup Series race might go here this weekend?
If the Wawa Cup Series race is anything like it was today, oh boy, we're going to be in for something special. Also to note, even though Alexander Rowe has been up front most of the time, like I say, it's never over until it's over, and BB Ruiz, although he's not going to get the points lead, he has got a big chunk out of Alexander Rowe's points lead. It was 40 points going into this event. Now it's going to be in the 20s. I'm going to be excited to see how the Herr Sprint Series season is going to wrap up in 2025.
Absolutely. It's been dominated by Alexander Rowe, but it's still tight because second through fifth was very tight, and as I mentioned, the 8th through 11th. So there's still enough races to go here in the Sprint Series, and it can all change. But what a race it was here today, and startups will be happening pretty soon for Montreal, another road course on the season. I've never done that before. Obviously, the Sprint Series ran that track last year, and we'll see what happens there, and then we'll be Pocono after that one. So, got a lot of fun racetracks on tap here in the Sprint Series, and the race to the end of the season kind of starts now with, I believe, 12 races to go, 12 or 13 races left on the season. Congrats to Cosmo on the win, and we will see you guys next week in Montreal, Canada for race 20 on the season.